Hey, I am going to try to jump right in and because I don't want to take too long. The stuff that I have to say, you guys, is really important. It's about the Pope, it's about Islam, um, about false religion. Please know and believe that I would never have the nerve to come here and say these things unless they were things that the Creator has shown to me, which He has. You guys know by now this has been unfolding for 2.5 years now, and I really have to stop myself from coming here and telling you every little single thing that he tells me. I have to try to get it together, which is why I didn't come on yesterday. So sorry for that. But you guys, if you're listeners of the music, then you know the songs Pope, The Rope of Silicon, Count the Days, Golden Parachute. 1 + 1 + 1 is 3. It's on the Rainbow Children. All of these songs from a genius were leading us in this direction. Actually, all of the songs, you guys, 5 Women I was listening to today, and he talks about jumping from plane to plane, all the clues that you need to unwrap the investigation. And I remember him telling me in the Life After Life, they're in the lyrics. So back on track. I just wanted to say that you can find a lot of answers in the lyrics. So 1 + 1 + 1 is 3, you guys. Let me say this as a preface statement. I know that the media promoted, I'm well aware, that Prince Rogers Nelson, or Prince, was a Kingdom Hall participant. I don't use the name that they do because it's irreverent and illegal in Hebrew, in case you haven't caught that by now. The Kingdom Hall uses that name. They call themselves a blank witness. You're not supposed to use that name. That's the name that we're going to use when the Creator shows Himself. It's the ever-present now. Kind of like the song Now. It's all in the lyrics. But anyway, I want to focus on the song 1 + 1 + 1 is 3, you guys. He's talking about theocratic order, monotheism, and various things like that. If you don't know the song, you should go hip yourself to it. Here it is. It's called 1 + 1 + 1 is 3. Okay. Now, what does it have to do with the Pope, you guys? Well, Pope Francis, let me just enlighten you to who he really is, in case you haven't done your studies. Pope Francis isn't his real name, as you know by now, but Jorge George, he actually took office on 3/13 of 13. So do you see how the number flow is the same? Try to remember in gematria, when numbers duplicate like this, they can drop off or they can duplicate. It's just the way 33rd degree gematria works, which is where the 33rds come from. Anyway, 1 + 1 + 3, he took office on 3/13, you guys. Follow along, please, pretty please. It's so important. I know I have here totals 39. That's because of the gematria. Obviously, if you added up 13 + 13 + 3, you would get 29, not 39. But the way that gematria flows, it equals 39. You have to trust and believe. Now, what's interesting about that, you guys? 39 is 369. Because the 6 and the 9, they turn upside down to use. But stay with me, you guys. This is about the breakdown of Prince Rogers Nelson, of which he told me when I passed. And it's being disclosed to me who these responsible parties are. So I'm trying my best to share it as eloquently as I can while meaning business, because it's very serious. I've come on here before, and I did the videos called The Breakdown. And in my soul hearings, you guys, I had said in one of my videos that the breakdown, that the Warner Brothers contract, I'm just going to say Prince, when Prince re-signed with Warner Brothers, and then they started playing the song Breakdown, I had said on my breakdown video that contract was signed on 12/31 of 2012, which would in essence be 12/31/12. Now, if you look at that date in gematria, it's 31/21 both ways, just like the song. So I say that the contract was signed at 11:57 on 12/31/21. And what that does is it makes the very next day, you guys, would be January 1st of 13. So when they signed that midnight contract at 11:57, the very next day was January. You get it? It's the same dates with the Pope. That's right. January 1 of 13. Okay. And he was elected on 3 of 13. Stay with me. Now, in the breakdown scenario, in the investigation, you guys, I told you a lot of the dates have to do, before I didn't know why the breakdown started in 2013, but now I do. Anyway, you can see that when you take the date 2013, and again, we're going with the last numbers here, guys, just the way it works. That's when the breakdown like started in full effect. If you add 3 years to 2013, you're going to get 2016. And obviously that's when the death was. And if you add 6 years to 2016, you're going to get 2022, which is where we are now. Okay. So then what do you have? You have 3, 6, 9, because in gematria, they swirl around. So then you carry that over. And what do you have? You have the word egg. That's right. For Paisley Park. Okay. Now what I did here, you guys, is this is 2022. And this is 2022. It just depends on how you write your twos. Now, let me turn it upside down for you. Do you see how they can look like 6 or 9s depending on how you look at them? We're going to keep it the right way. So what I want to point your attention to is the curly 6s. Why? Because 2022 is equal to 666. It is the reason for Biden's Build Back Better. Okay, all of this stuff is a plan. Let me show you something else. 13 in military time is equal to 1 a.m. Okay, so if you write 13 equals 1 a.m., what does it also says? It says 13 equals I am, because that's the way that the math and the letters flow. So when you put that down below, it's also is Lam, because that's an S. It's just a funky S. So it's IS Lam, Islam. That is the way this coding works, you guys. So how did I jump from the Pope to Islam? I'll get there. I'll tell you. But I need to make you aware of all these things. Also, you can see in the word I am, it's Maui. It's why the Kill Bill show Highway May. It's the 808, you guys, and I'll get there too. I want to show you something back here, and I'll make these links available. I have some really good whiteboard teachings. I just made these for this class in particular. Notice that on 3:13:13, if you turn it this way, it's www. It's just like in the song, I think it's Ropa Silicon, www.u.com. That's why he was singing about that, because he was trying to bring our attention to that. So with these dates, there's no denying what you're seeing, but also, you guys, what I want to show you is a great deal more. As part of the breakdown, because it started in 2013, these are some very pertinent dates. And what they do is, in gematria and in occultism, the dates are exceptionally important. There are certain portals and certain windows and gates that I was shown when I passed that are open at certain times, and they have to do these things on these dates, otherwise they won't work. And so when I say that these dates are accurate, they're accurate. And also because of the let me get back to something, the 9/4, you guys, 1914 is what I'm getting at. It's like in the song Family Name. He's telling us that the World War I and the World War II and those things were planned. You guys, I have it on the back of one of these papers. Oh, here it is. So dig this. If you add 19 and 14, you get 33. 33rd degree gematria, right? Now, that's when World War I was. And if you take 1939, which is when World War II was, and you add 9 plus 9, you're going to get 18. Okay. And then you add the 1 and the 3, and you're going to get 13. Why is that relevant? Because of Revelations 13:18, where they speak about the wisdom of the number of the beast, which is the 666, which is 2022, because they're the same. It's also relevant to Genesis 8:31, where they talk about the 601st year, the first month, and the first of the month, which is what gives us the 1/6. or 911 if you're so inclined. That's why all the ICR numbers start with 16, and it's also pi in reverse, or 19, because they all equal each other. Prince investigation, pi, P-I, or pride, whichever way you want to slice it. Anywho's, golly, where was I? Oh, the 1318. Now, also, you guys, the MLS Minnesota statute for the cause and manner of death that says it was self-induced fentanyl is 1383. So the digits are the same. That's how relevant these things are. So in Genesis 9:4, it's when they talk about not eating the flesh with the soul still in it. It's a very what do I want to say? People read it and don't think much of it. I think that they believe it's when, Hashem said that people could eat meat. But there's also a darker side to that, and it has to do with vampirism and all the human endurance torture things that I've talked about before, because when it's 9:4. Anyway, 9:4, Genesis 9:4 it's why they chose the 1914, because it's still 9:4. You feel me? 9:4. And then 1914 equals 33, which is the gematria, or Eminem, Mark Metz, Mickey Mouse Killers. Okay. And then 1939 is actually GE, or GE. It's still the Pope. It's still Bob George. Okay. That's why he used the name Bob George, because nobody wants to call him the Pope. And that's why I've been using the name 93DO, kind of spells pedo. Anyway, let me get to the breakdown. The breakdown, like I said, in the investigation started, and take a look at this. Maybe you want to take a screenshot. You can go ahead and do that. What it says, you guys, is on 1/19 of 13. Notice the dates. Okay. At the Dakota Club, the song Breakdown was played for the very first time by DJ Rashida. Okay, this is all available online. I put it in all the information. I'll put it in the comments when I'm done with the video. So on 1/19/13, Dakota Club plays Breakdown for the very first time. Dig this, you guys. On 6/22/13, just, forget about the 13 for a minute. So on 6/22 of 13, which is also 666. Do you see how 6/22 is 2022, or 666 in reverse? So it's like the song June. It's what they did in June. June 22nd, 2013, the Third Eye Girl chat show moderator said that Breakdown was being recorded that evening by Hannah and the others. And that was never heard. So that's very relevant to the date. Also, you guys, before I forget, Pope Jorge, Georgie Porgy, he is the 266th Pope, you guys. So this is a 2 and this is 66. No matter how you want to slice it, if you turn it upside down, love to the nines, gonna party like it's 1999 or 622. Okay, however you want to look at that. It's factual. Okay. So the song Breakdown was played, and what's relevant about that too, I'll get to, it's the song title. Like I told you guys, it woke me up and told me all kinds of things about this that I didn't know, that I started remembering in 2020. So anyway, then you guys, on 3/14 of 14. Now I want to say this real quick and I'll get back on track. See how the 14 and the 19 look the same, and they also look like PI? I've shown you guys before in gematria how the 3 and the 4 and the 9, as well as the 6, they can all be the same. And you're wondering how the 3, well, it's because it always totals 6 and 9, but it's also because it's the third the third letter in the alphabet Hebrew is Gimel. So they interchange that with the letter G and C and 3. I don't want to confuse you, but that's why. So 3/14, you guys, is also pi. It's 314 equals pi. So the equation you'll see all the time. So that's why on Arsenio Hall, the fake prince went on and said that Breakdown was their favorite song, because they knew that they were working on the breakdown as far as making a replacement. So 3/14, and then you guys on, this is really relevant. And let me tell you, and I'll go back. On 4 4/18 of 14. So it's technically it was 4/18/14 at 11:57, and this is factual. You can look it up yourself. The album Artificial Age was released at 11:57, a few minutes before midnight, same as that contract that I allege was signed on 12/31/12 at 11:57. Why? Because it gives the 3 steps. Give me 3 steps, mister. Give me 3 steps toward the door. And you never see me no more. Anyway, so that's relevant, you guys. So the album that they released, the Artificial Age album, they released on 4/18 at 11:57, which in essence made the date 4/19/19. And again, they're sticking with the 1914 situation. Then, you guys, when you read the investigation, with all the lies that Larry Graham, Hannah and Josh, Judith, Miron, everybody between the 18th and the 19th, Kim Pratt, there's all kinds of lies because they were on an airplane and then partying through 420. You know what I'm saying? And it's all lies. So anyway, on 4/19/16, again, it's the same flow, 1914. Kim Pratt says on her Justice Crew video that she took Prince to the Dakota Club that evening with the family, among other things, but I'm not going to get into. But it's relevant that it's the same club that they started at on 1/19 of 13. They did again on 4/19 of 16, 3 years later on the same date. Okay. The next thing they did is on 4/19 of 2016, or excuse me, 4/19 of 18, again, 19 and 18, just like when they released the album. On 4/19 of 18 is when Mark Metz, Mickey Mouse Killer, announced that there would be no criminal charges in the investigation. So again, the whole 1914. And then when you do your research, you see that on 11/14/19, so November 14th of 19, that's when all the charges were dropped. Not all the charges, because Mark Metz announcement said that there would be no criminal charges. And on 11/14, there was actually a document that I found that releases any, charges that might again been against Dr. Schulenberg and Howard Kornfeld. It's a really shady document, and I'll post it pretty quick, but that's also on that date, 11/14. So they fit 1914 as many times as they could in there, the family name. Why? Again, because 9 + 4 = 13, and 13 = 1 a.m., which is Islam. So even though I've been sitting here talking here, in case you didn't get a screenshot, you guys, here's a good clear one. Okay, those are all the dates that they did the things. Here's how 2013 plus 3 years brought us to 2016. And then 6 years later, here we are in 2022. So if you think about it, World War I in 1914, World War II in 1939, and then the WWW, which I showed you on the date that he took office. Will it be or won't it be? I don't know. That's not what I'm saying. I remember some pretty trippy things when I died, but I'm not real sure. Also, you guys, I want to say this. The address of the coroner, the medical examiner's office in the file is 14341 Ramsey. Now, for you that don't read your Bible, Ramsey is, of course, Pharaoh Ramsey. It just is. The 143341 pi equation is right in the address. This whole breakdown, you guys, is biblical, and I tell you that all the time. And why is that? Why should you believe that our world is trippy enough to use Prince Rogers Nelson, who is God, as the singer and dancer that was super sexy and this and that and the other thing? I've tried to explain to you guys, not just sexy, but a genius. And it was always the lyrics. I'm saying that because I have a point. It was because he is the creator. He would go, this is from the best of my recollection. When I passed, he told me these things because he showed me himself as himself, but it was kind of holographic in a way. And what he was telling me is that because of the contractual Just a second. Because of the contractual intellectual property that the time before time, where he gave his, I can only say it this way, Hashem, please forgive me. He let the evil kind of be in charge of his powers because he needed to be here long enough to sing and dance his way into my heart and your heart, to teach us to go read our Bibles. And though he sang about this man Jesus, it's just like what song was I listening to? Oh, accurate knowledge of Christ and the Father. Now, in that song, The Everlasting Now, not only did the world believe that he was, a K-hole member, but that he would sing about Jesus all the time. And that's because that's what the world was sold on. And he was trying to get us to take a look in the Bible to figure out for ourselves what was going on. But what I mean to say is, he said accurate knowledge of Christ and the Father will bring the everlasting now. What he was trying to let us know is that the lie that's out there was and is a lie. I mean, why else would somebody sing in a song, I'm your Messiah and you're the reason why? I mean, who does that, you guys? I want to get back to something too, the whole egg thing. If I didn't mention earlier, and I didn't, Pope Jorge, he was born in 1936, you guys. And then the opposite of that is the 39, which was when World War II was. And you can see yourself how it spells egg. So, and Bob George. So I just wanted to mention that again. So I know I jump around. It's because I try to remember everything, but right now, because again, I follow the VatiCON news just to see what they're up to. And he has been on this really big push. Let me tell you guys, his name is Pope. He calls himself Pope Francis. He's the only pope to have ever used the name of a pope that was never used before. And the reason that he said he chose Francis is because of his humility and his desire to be poor and humble and peacemaker, this and that, and everything that he's not. So, that's why he's saying you can be the president. I'd rather be the pope. You guys, he has been, he's on this push because, like I said, it is, to the best of my recollection, Constantine in reincarnate. Now, because they were given the intellectual property to use for a time from the creator, because he had to buy his time in order to stay here and tell us these things, otherwise we would be up the creek, as they say. And once he lent them the power, you guys, and then when I died in 2010, he showed me all this stuff in like a crystal ball and how he saw all these things that they were trying to plan and do and recreate in other prints. The reason that all the clones were used too, you guys, and I say clones, but I should say models and lookalikes. I'm talking about Mariah Brown, assistant, Cumi, assistant, especially Julie Ramadan, and we're going to touch on her in just a minute. Marone Bakure, all of the people in the file that call themselves assistants, the girls, they're all big brown eyes, big full lips. You could put makeup on me really easy and make me look like Prince. That's what they did to those girls. If you watched Prince perform concert, he would always leave right after the performance, just real fast. And then watching him through the 39 years that I did, you guys, there was like back before 2016, before he passed, there was no interviews. Like there was the occasional Rolling Stone or this or that or the other. There was the occasional picture, but it had to be kept off the internet for the sole purpose of that. See, he knew what he had planned with these guys, and he knew what direction they were going to be going in. That's why he changed his name to the love symbol. That's why Phaedra, Pharaoh, the intellectual property attorneys, Rhonda Trotter, and her other name, I can't remember. You guys, Phaedra wasn't even an attorney. And yet she's all these, oh, she got back these rights and this and that and the other. You guys, she was working at Green for All with Van Jones, and Van Jones was up Obama's behind, which is Islam. He was photographed many times carrying his Islamic Bible. You guys know this. Maybe you don't. I watched. I just always have, because I knew how funkified and false the world of politics always was. And so I was watching. I believe it was actually 2013, because it was what I call my first purple time. And now I know why. But anyway, what does the Pope have to do with Islam? And what I'm hearing and seeing is this, you guys, and from the Life After Life, it was like, because the New World Order wants everybody to be the same, they think that they're going to be creating this master race. I think they're planning on a one world religion too. So the Pope, who is with his, Catholic ways, is supposed to be against all other religions or whatever else, but he's recently been going to these meetings which open up avenues to like Islam and other. It's the best way I can explain it, to kind of create that one world religion, you guys. And what I had heard in my Life After Life was that's the way it was headed. And I was just standing there with the Creator, and I was just like, I want the truth. What is the truth? And he's like, I'm the truth. And I just said, just please tell me, just please show me. I'll tell the world. I'll tell the world, And then, of course, I've told you before, that's why, he pulled forth my books of life. He showed me my childhood. We walked and talked. You guys, he said that most of I want to show you this little drawing I made. When I was there, it's like, I don't know, maybe it looks like a wormhole to some people. It's why Prince was said to play ping pong, because it's always a back and forth, and it's the reincarnation thing. But okay, so like, here's this like portal. Maybe it's like a black hole thing. I could try to say it like that. And then over this way should be facing up. This is all the good and all the light and all the heavenly places, and like that. Now down here on the other end is all the bad. And what he showed me when I was up there in my Life After Life, you guys, we were up here and we looked down through this portal hole, and down here into the bottom, it was all black. It was just like pure black. And then all of a sudden this light went by. And I said, what was that? And he said, that was just one good thought from one person. Just one good thought, not even in deed, not even in action, just a thought. But it made this super bright light shine. It came up from the dark and went up into the light where we were. And then he showed me down here how we on the earth are in this very dark place because it's run by the others, because he gave them a time to do that, you guys, but that time is coming to an end. So was very sad, actually, because when he showed me closer and I was able to look down on this dark part, you guys, what he had said was that, I want to say this, that it was a bunch of lost souls. It was so dark, and it was like we were looking down on us, but it was pure dark, and it was just souls just lost and wandering. Go watch the movie Soul by Pixar. And when you see the part where they show the wandering souls, those would be like your drug addicts, your alcoholics, your abused women, and even men. I don't want to get into the negative. Those are lost souls. And here in this freaking world, we are lost souls. And the Creator, you guys, he did this all to show us who he is. But he needs our vessels to be ready to receive him, and they weren't ready to receive him before. So I'm trying to help him help us now by disclosing what's going on in the world and making it so obvious that you can't deny it. And hopefully, like I've said before, you guys, my heart's desire is not to take away what little bit you might think that you're clinging to right now in your own religion, whether it be Catholicism or being Christian or going to the K-hole hall and thinking you're aligning your thoughts with the one the world knew as Prince. You're not. It was all a scam, because this is the way I understand it. And I said it before on the Constantine video, and I'm going to say it again. This whole religion, you guys, you're going to have to answer for what you believe in to the Creator. And you can just blindly believe what they say. Hey, this man, Constantine in 1611, which is the opposite of 9/11, which is the same as all the ICR numbers, 16 and pi and everything that we've talked about before, took the Roman Catholicism and then changed all the Hebrew words and put the transcribers and rolled it all in and called it the KJV Bible. Okay. Just like Kirk Johnson. Okay. Kirk Anthony Johnson. K-A-J, I meant to say, because G and J are the same and I get them mixed up. So Kirk Anthony Johnson Productions is the same as KJV upside down. You guys, it has to do with them wanting to create a one world religion and make you fold maybe with the RFID chip, like in the monologue, The War. I don't know. I'm very concerned about what might happen on September 30th of this year, which is a mere, how many days away? 11. So today's the 19th, and it's 11 more days until the 30th. It's 9/11. And on the 30th, the date will be 9/3/222, which will be 93666, and it also spells out GE or GE, which I don't know if I touched on before. What's relevant about that, besides everything I've explained, is that Francis, the same name as Prince Rogers Nelson's dad, Francis L., Francis changed his name from Jorge, 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 hey, Jorge Mario Bergoglio. So in Mario, it's like Mario. And then Magog, Bergoglio, Magog. Okay, you guys, pretty soon I would suspect he will probably say, hey, look at all these dates and look how they're pointing towards me and who I should be and how you should admire me and call me Holy Father even more. And let me collect all the money from all the various Catholic entities and bring them into the Holy See by September 30th. Why is that, Bob George? Why is that? I don't know if World War III is coming, if it ain't, but what I wanted to say is this: Julie Ramadan. Ramadan, you guys, is a Muslim Islamic word. It's a month, the 9th month of their whatever they do. And in Arabic, the word Ramadan means scorching heat. Okay. Now, it also is a name of God, is what they believe. And they also believe, let me see, that the Torah was given on this Ramadan date, which is the 9th month, which again, with the 9/303/369, Tesla 369, 369. Anyway, it's always the 369. I can't help it. I get sidetracked. What's important, you guys, is the name Ramadan in the breakdown file. Julie Ramadan, very pretty girl. Go to her Instagram. And back in 2013 and 2014, she was his assistant. And she is the one that all through the file, they say that she, his assistant, set up the email J Ramadan. Now, throughout the investigation, everybody is said to email Prince at the address J Ramadan. Okay. When the police go through that computer later on, they note a couple things. One of them is that the Peter Bravestrong Skype that was done in, actually it was 11/4 of 16 or 15, I'm not sure. There was a Skype that was done in the name Peter Bravestrong with the Julie Ramadan email. And then, of course, every other email that's provided throughout the investigation goes to that email, which was deleted on the 19th, which was 4/19 at the Dakota. That's because Phaedra is from Silicon Valley and told so-and-so that she could get in the computer and take care of everything, which is why everything was deleted from 3 of 23 around the remembrance of Christ at the K-hole Hall to after he had died. There was information missing on the computer, and it's a whole big conundrum. But my point is, Julie Ramadan, when you go and look at her Instagram, you guys, she was totally dressing up like Prince, like the eye makeup, everything. She has Instagrams, sleepless nights, eight down, 26 to go, talking about the concerts. There's, the thing like that. And I also want to show you guys something else. Third Eye Girl. 3EG. Third Eye Girl. GE or GE. It's George. It's Jorge. It's not just the world that we knew of Prince Rogers Nelson saying, hey, think with your pineal gland, open up your brain. Don't be a part of the matrix. Listen to what I'm saying, because I've said it so many times calmly, and I'm going to say a little more forcefully so that you guys can see how serious it is and start questioning what you're going to do about it, not just what I'm going to do about it. I'm trying to educate you guys the best I can. This isn't easy for me either. So it's the truth. Also, while I'm here, it's the reason that as part of the investigation, it says that Kirk's first phone call at 5:43 in the morning on the 21st was from or to, I can't remember, Good Run. What's his name? Hold on. Good Run Gisilda daughter or something like that. It's obviously a code word, and it's GG. You guys, when you read the file, here's the name, the last name. It's GUDRUN. Good Run. G is la letter. G is, you know how they have that name that game Balderdash? G is, it's Alphabet Street, you guys. This, I know I smile. It's because the Creator allows me to smile through all this. And the reason that I smile is because I have a purpose, my sole purpose being met by doing these talks with you guys and stuff. And that is what makes me smile. To see evil brought as low as they can possibly go makes me smile. It makes me dance, and it makes me sing even when I'm hurting. Even when I'm hearing that from my life after life situation, the Creator told me this. I don't know how they do it, you guys. I can't, I'm here in this physical world and I can't explain it. But because He is the Creator and He is what we know as alien, and because the others, Area 51, Warner Brothers, because they were allowed, Constantine, to sell and repackage the Bible, the reason that was done is because throughout the generations, we've been broken down lots of times, and this isn't our first time here, but this particular generation that we are, our breakdown is by media. It's by movies, media, propaganda, and social, because everything is done on the computer now, you guys. Everything is completely controlled. It's like we're living in China or Korea or wherever, North Korea. You know what I'm saying? It's, fact checkers this and fact checkers that. Forget that you have a soul. And the only way that we use the word soul in America is to talk about our shoe, the bottom of our shoe. Imagine that. Did you know you have a shiny soul inside? Do you know the Creator loves you so much that when He created this world, He protected us by giving us part of Himself, and that is His spark of human DNA, and that each and every one of us is able to do so much and to be so much. But the false lie and the religion thing on this world, sit around, claim on John 3:16 and twiddle your thumbs waiting on Superman. It's the lie that He is the only Son. Again, it's Satan, Stan. It's the reason Eminem wrote the song Stan. I just heard it earlier today. It's Constantine is Francis. It's him. I saw him when I died. His eyes turned completely black, and I've seen him since then, in visions and things. But this Francis, Jorge, he, because they're of a different race, Merovingian bloodline, reptilian, I'm not really sure what, so I'm going to watch what I'm saying. They do live forever. And for as long as the creator allows them to do what they're doing and be alive in a certain way, but they need hosts, they need bodies. The creator as well, because he has the ability to be anything, he can and will be anything. And so when Julia Ramadan, the Islamic word for, Arabic word for scorching heat, I don't know if those are the same or not, was her code name. So I believe this, you guys, that I don't know how, and I only am courageous enough to say this because I had the life after life, because the creator is alien-esque. He needs, like, I don't know, somehow they were doing some mind, like, it's why when you read Dan's Beautiful One book, that he says that when this prince was performing in Australia, that he regressed into his childhood and pantomimed eating popcorn and talked about seeing his dad and stuff like that. I've mentioned this to you before. When my mom was dying of lung cancer, she was on morphine, and people say crazy stuff when they're on drugs. So the fact that Andrew Kornfeld, one of the Andrew Kornfelds who graduated UCLA, was doing pharmacology with Suboxone and all kinds of crazy things. What they were doing, some kind of transference of intellectual property so that this other prince could perform as prince, because he didn't have, in essence, or he died in 2010 when I was there, or he was getting sick or old. I can't always remember. However, what he had told me was, at a certain time, in 2010, when I died, he told me that at a certain time, which I'm assuming was 2020, because that's when I started hearing 10 years later and having all these things happen, that he was going to come and use me as that host, if you will, that because of the way that we were connected in our past lives and the way that my soul had always sought God before I even knew these things, since 1993, which again is the GE or GE, that I had a vessel that was capable of introducing him to the world. I know how that sounds, you guys, I really do. What I'm thinking about right now is it hurts a little bit, only because I think that I remember him telling me that soon, when some of these things start happening, maybe after 9:30, I'm not sure, that as he starts to disclose who he is and show who he is, which I think will be via computers, being that he doesn't have our physical essence, will be done on the computer when he discloses himself. I'm in computer. When it's over, press save. Lyrics. Poor lonely computer. It's time someone programmed you. All of these lyrics have a meaning, you guys. My life has meaning. Your life has meaning. And I'm coming here to tell you these things so you guys can try to find your soul purpose, because he told me he was going to come and use me as this vessel. And I don't know what qualified me exactly. I don't. But I know that what I'm saying is true. I know that I've heard that my son will be used as well, and myself. And that after I die in this world, that the world will be a whole different place, and it'll be the kind of place you want to live. So maybe you need to understand how much I love God to know why I can come here and sit here and talk about these things without a script, without a Bible, without my family and friends believing me, acquaintances, I should say. I don't really have any friends, but I'm doing it to try to help as many people as I can. You guys, I want you to know that I was just as freaked out as you are listening to me when I stood in heaven and he told me that we went on a spaceship and did all these things, and it's just the truth. The numbers don't lie. Occultism doesn't lie, you guys. It's why the M, because the M is a big M, and in the middle, it's an actual V. So it's Merovingian. Look, let me show you something. I made this and I'm going to make this slideshow available. It's on TikTok also, and it's on my Facebook. Let me turn my brightness up, see if you can see it. Now, because of the tree of life and the way that it works, in the love symbol, it's what, never mind about the love symbol right now, but see the word CIA. Okay. The reason that they're written like that is because I was doing them in a backwards kind of way on the tree of life. Okay. Now, if you take the words CIA, IA is artificial intelligence. Woo, that is too much light. But look here. Man, why is that so bright? Here it goes. So that same CIA, you guys, goes like this. And if you turn the CIA upside down, it's a VAIC or CAIN, Cain or Con. Okay. So in Genesis 4:24, when Lamech says 77 times 7, revenge, Cain, it's the Vatican, the VatiCON. They use the CIA. You can see it's right there in the Vatican too. Okay. This is how it works in mirror writing. You may not understand it, but it's true. Okay. They interchange the C and the K, which is why we have Calvin Klein. It's not a logo that sticks to the roof of one's ass style. Now, we're used to, sorry about the curse, we're used to seeing America like this, you guys. America, CIA. Check it out. America, CIA. Again, I'm going to make this available. I know it's glary. Now, if you do America with little a's, what do you have? I'm not talking about a straight line with a ball on it. I'm talking about the old-fashioned A, which we old schoolers like to use. What do you see? 666 MRK. Merked, Merca. MRK, MK Ultra. That's what it is. That's what we live in. It goes back to the little picture that I showed you guys. This good and the bad. We're in the dark, and that's the MK Ultra programming that we're under. It's the Matrix, the I am tricks, MATRIX. Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. Now, America, MK Ultra. I know. Now, also, you guys, this is important. You have not only the 666, but what you have in the MK is a 3K. You bring the M down, turn it on its side, bring the K down. 3K is what? KKK. Okay. America, MK Ultra, bring down the sixes, and then you have 3K, which is where the word Mickey Mouse, killers playing Mickey Mouse games. Now, also, K is the 11th letter of the alphabet. KKK equals 33. I know. MK Ultra, you guys. It is what I say. I want you to see how because the way the letters were transferred from Hebrew to Greek to English, and because the fact that the Hebrew letters also have a numeric equivalent as well as a shape to them, the 33rd degree gematria is all used to their advantage. It just is, it's witchery and it's trickery. It's occultism witchery. It's just what it is. And the creator showed me how to read it with my Wally eyes. So if you take the MK Ultra and then you take the word like Marlboro for Marlboro cigarettes, do you see how the words kind of flow the same? Okay, I'm going to show you something else. Sorry about that glare, you guys. What I want to show you is this one, because MK Ultra, Marlboro, and then it also says Mario Brothers. Mario Brothers, because that's Georgie Porgy's middle name. Mario. Yes, I have a 19-year-old son, almost 19. On 9/30 of this month, my son is said to be 19, which is also PI. And if it's the 9/3 date, and I have things in my heart that I'm not disclosing right now, and I have my reasons, you guys who know me know what I'm saying, but Isaiah doesn't believe in my videos, so I'm going to keep that on the down low for now, and I hope it's okay. Anyway, so there's Mario, okay? Now, also, I wanted to show you guys this. well, you won't understand the tree of life. But see, here is the A can be a 1 or it can be an N. I'm not going to get into that because it's too confusing. But again, the Pope took office on 3/13 of 13, but I put 13, 13, 13 because that's the way gematria works. So that would equal 39. Biden's Build Back Better. Okay, it's just what it is. The 266th Pope. This is what I did. I wrote the word reptilian upside down and backwards. You can see 911 right in the middle. You can also see in the upside down gematria how the R and the E and the D led me to write PED or POPE, which is what sorry, you guys. Maybe if I turn down the. Yeah, if you take the PED it also spells not only pedo, but POPE, Pope. And that's why in the beginning of 2020, the whole PPE, they were making a call for PPE, which was the personal protection something. And it's because all this was a plan. It's why, you guys, it's why, if you follow, the Kardashians and TV and the E channel and stuff like that, it's why Justin Bieber is said to have this face that's freezing up on him or whatever. I'm sorry, I can't think of the words when I'm talking, but it's why there's pictures of Johnny Depp all over online that isn't Johnny Depp. It's why I explained in the Super Bowl holographics video that holographics are being used. They're CGIs. They're people that look real from far away, but they're not real because they don't have a soul. And why are they CGIs? Because as I explained to you, the C and the G are both threes. It's 33 in gematria because it's ABC, but then in Hebrew, it's Aleph, Bet, Gimel. So for Gimel, they use the G instead of the C, and then it becomes Bob George. It's just how it works, you guys. It just is. Like, you know how everybody goes and watches the Hunger Games, okay? And we're sitting here thinking, dang, what a messed up world that is. I'm glad I don't live there. We look back at when slaves were being treated the way they were and sprayed with fire hoses saying, oh, I'm glad I don't live there. But we do live there is what I mean to say. Take, for instance, the Hunger Games, you guys. They have all of us lowlifes like on the Titanic, like we're on the bottom, we're on the bottom. And that's where they intend for us to stay. But God intended us for it to be much, much more than that. Only you have to pay attention to who you are. You're not entitled to lose your mind in TV and superstars and sports and food and sex and drugs and wanting to be anything but yourself. You have to find out who you are and what God wants from you and for you to do with your family during what I know is going to be some kind of tumultuous time coming up, you guys. It just is. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, or maybe if we pray, maybe the judgments can be lessened. But what I want to say is, like on the Hunger Games, they have all those crazy people wearing wigs and this and that and the game show and thinking that the whole big thing, and they're watching from outside the globe, just like the Truman Show, where the lightning and the animals that come in and all the stuff is being controlled. You know what I'm saying? So we do live in that kind of place, you guys. It's just what our world has been taught to not look into, supernatural, paranormal. Don't study the stars. Don't look at the sun. Don't do anything but listen to the New Testament. That's all they want you to do, because there is a plan to unfold some kind of one world religion, and either you're going to agree with it or you're not. I'm not sure what the consequences will be. What's what. But I do know that the Creator told me, because of who He is, that is why the disclosures in this file in the Freedom of Information Act say that they cannot be. Somebody filed a Freedom of Information Act on this Prince investigation, and it came back with a lot of the information being there because no crime was committed. They had to make it public information. 97 pages were deleted, and it says why the 97 pages were blacked out, and it said it was because of a risk to national security by executive order. Yeah, that's what it says. I've made that available. It's on the hashtag Funky When We Ain't on Facebook. It's on my Elizabeth Pride Facebook page. I'm trying to make this evidence available for you guys to see so that you're not just relying on me for the information, that you'll go research it yourself. And even if you say, so what, the Illuminati killed Prince, doesn't make everything else she's saying true. Okay, go study the dates. Go look into the things that I'm talking about. Go see why he calls himself the Holy Father when Hashem said not to have any gods before him. No idols. Okay? Icons. C-O-N. Constantine. Con. Okay? It's just what it is, you guys. And God forbid, and I mean no offense to anyone, but I don't want to live in any kind of world where women and children are treated like rocks, and people who don't have any souls and made to wear black from head to toe with only their eyes showing. So that why? So that their disgusting, horny men don't get turned on, so that they can call themselves righteous. They teach 2-year-olds to wield machetes. No, that's not anything I'm looking forward to in the 13 equals 1 a.m. Islam, Obama, CNN, Van Jones breakdown plan. Also, the reason the song Breakdown was chosen as the song is because not only that, when you look at a B and an R, BR, it turns into 3121. It's 3121. And in the middle, it's EAK, which I've told you guys before, references the X Center across the street from Paisley Park, the X Spiritual Center. They are trying to sell God in a bottle. They think they know who he is. They think they have him. I'm not sure why. They're going to soon come to see that that's not true, and that the only person he speaks through is through me right now. And that's what I was going to say earlier, is it bothers me because in a way, like, I'm not coming here to be special and say I own any kind of anything. That is not me. I'm coming here to share. End of story. What I am going to say is that, as I've said before, all the other channels that are out there, the YouTube channels and the media hype and the Justice for Cuz and Justice for Prince, and these are all for the false Prince. Because, you guys, as I exposed on the suicide video, I believe, and I could be wrong, I hesitate to say it, but the fentanyl, I believe the creator, the one we knew as Prince Rogers Nelson, he self-induced the fentanyl, thereby because they were mentally and contractually connected with the Julie Ramadan. Whoever the other prince was at the time, whether it was Kirk or Julie or Cumie or Michaela or Mariah Brown, I happen to think it was Julie Ramadan because of the name Ramadan itself and because of what it means, and because the name, the Ramadan, includes Adam, man. It's a whole lot of things in it, you guys. And everything in this world is coded, man, from the football scores to the football names. It's just, it is what I say. They're going to come together. They're going to make a push for everybody to come together and forget their uniqueness and just come together in this one world religion, because that's what we need to save the world. That's what they're going to say. And then I think Jorge is going to say, look at all these dates. They lead me to be who I am. How can I not be who I am? And then I don't know. But before that happens, that's why I'm here to let you know what it was. I don't know exactly how Taika and Kirk and Pharaoh and the others, like, I don't know who they are. I don't know if they're soulless. I don't know if they're real people like you and I. I know that when I looked at Kirk Johnson's Instagram, that it said Old Man Johnson. He's on there lifting some weights, and it says Old Man Johnson. Old Man Johnson is John 3:16. It just is. I know who you are, Johnson. And I'm going to put an end to evil the best way that I know how, and that is with Hashem by my side, using me as a vessel, using me as a tool, because he is who he is. He's using me now, and that's what you guys got to get through your head. I'm not trying to be anything better, but he made me who I am, and he told me I had a worthy vessel, and if I could learn these things and do these things and be this for him, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? I would. Just like the song, I would die for you. So I hope that, Oh, I just want to say one more thing. You know the song Violet the Organ Grinder? An organ grinder is a monkey that goes out and does and collects coins from people, and the guy plays the thing. But organ also is organization. When you take the word organization, it's just like the word Satan or Stan, and that's why he calls himself the organ grinder. Okay. Again, like I said, it's why Eminem uses the name Eminem. Mickey Mouse Killers is 33. It's why that singer Billie Eilish ends with an E and starts with an E, because it's a 33 in backwards upside down mirror writing. Mirror writing is an M and a W. Upside down and sideways, it's a 3 and a 3 or a 3K or 33 degree gematria. All you have to do is look at that girl's video album covers to see what they're selling. Okay. I'm just trying to set the truth straight. You guys go back and watch this video again. It's all so relevant. It just is really relevant, and I hope you listen, because I'm doing my best. And thank you for listening and letting me come here and just do your best to try to understand what I'm saying. I don't have anything else to say. I love you.